I'm Mr. Provost, and I'm a history teacher here at Shawnee High School, coach of the tennis team, and I also coach soccer over at Cherokee High School. Before my diagnosis, I lived a pretty normal life. 23 years old when I was diagnosed, I was working out every morning. I was in the best shape of my life. I was golfing quite often. I had a membership, and I was golfing almost every day.
Most 23-year-olds, he's just out of college and starting down a path. He's involved in the teaching and coaching, and he was, living his life and having a good time and looking forward to the future and living life kind of one day at a time at that point.
Trip to the Outer Banks with my family, and I invited a college buddy down, so we were cutting up squid on the dock, ready to go fishing for some croaker that night. I turned to my buddy, I said, "Hey, something weird just happened." And he said, "No, it kind of seems crazy." And I said, "No." I said, something weird did happen. And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of just lost focus." I couldn't help myself but to go on the internet and Google, and it kind of seemed like I had a seizure, not like a full-on grand mal seizure or one that your body convulses. It was more of like a focal seizure. I was a paraprofessional in English class with Mr. Nemeth. Mr. Packer was like, "I think you just had a seizure." And I was like, No, I didn't. I'm fine. And I knew I was. I was having dreams and dreams of having brain cancer. So we go down to the nurse, and then I started having bigger seizures. And I don't know if it was like my body's like, "Oh yeah, you've been caught." Like, here I am, 23 years old. My mom is picking me up from school. She takes me straight to the emergency room over in Mount Holly at Virtua. They said, "Oh, what are you here for?" I said, "Oh, I got a tumor on my brain." And the guy said, No, you don't." The guy checking me in, I said, I think I do, And at that point, I'd been having, like I said, 10, 15 seizures a day. They're like, "All right, we're gonna get you a CAT scan." So I went in, I got a CAT scan. A doctor came out and said, "We found a tumor on your brain, and it's pretty big, and you're not leaving the hospital. You're actually gonna get in an ambulance, and you're gonna go over to Capital Health in Trenton." And when I first heard it, obviously, I didn't know what was going on. I was scared. I found a little closet. It was dark in there, and I just went in there, and I think I let out some bad words and let things go. And then next thing I know, I'm in the ambulance headed towards Capital Health in Trenton.
We'll never forget it. We were basically basket cases. Seeing the picture of his MRI on the screen and this huge tumor, it was the size of a large egg, and shocked, really. We really were in shock.
The biggest thing was getting through the surgery. That was daunting to everybody involved, How is it going to turn out? Will we have the same Jeffrey after the brain surgery,
The first thing I did when I got out is I took a selfie and posted on Facebook, and I said, "The eagle has landed." Went back, and the path of results were in, and they said, "By the way, you're starting radiation tomorrow." And then I did the oral chemo, which was a pill, for a whole year after that. It was once a week for 52 weeks, right? So it was a cycle. Honestly say the second time I had brain surgery, I was never at more peace with anything in my life than getting that second surgery. I was here at a memorial, here at Shawnee, at a memorial garden dedication ceremony, where someone came up to me and said, "Hey, did you have brain surgery?" I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Did you have cancer?" I said, "Yeah." And long story short, she goes, "Well, I just want to let you know that I had this." And I said, "That's what I had, the same thing." And she goes, "Well, I want you to know you should plan for a future." So hearing that at this event I shouldn't even have been at, I was kind of asked at the last minute to participate. I was like, "Oh my God, this is a sign. Like, things are gonna be good." But for me, there's only one time that I don't think about cancer, and because it's gonna come back. It's just a matter of when, right? So I know it's gonna come back. It's tough to live like that. So for me, when I'm on the pickleball court, there's nothing else I'm thinking about except playing pickleball. When I'm out there coaching, I can only think about coaching and my athletes, all right? So, it's always on my mind.
To look at a bigger picture of things. How we can get tunnel vision, and one little thing goes wrong and we're like, "Oh my gosh," not anymore. It's like, okay, I've been through brain surgery with one of my kids, brain cancer with one of my children. This is nothing. This is small stuff.
I think about it often. I think about, Jeff often. But again, I'm just going to continue with things are going to be good, you know.